Hey everyone, and welcome. And today we're going to be talking about the Vzus Opod. So over here we can see another amazing slide that the analysis team has put together for us. But let's dive a little bit deeper into it right now. So over here we can see the Opod basically being docked on a planet. We can see the sheer size of the Opod in comparison to a normal avatar, as well as how the wings will basically adjust in order to be put into a landing position, and one leg from the front will come down in order to engage. As well as we can see over here that the hangar door is as well open. So from docked position to flight position, we can see over here that the wings have now come up, and we can also see a little bit more of the drones. So in this image we can see that there are 3 drones per side, as well as something very interesting to take note of is these little appendages here. So there's 1, 2, 3 and 4 on each as of right now, and then the scanning sensors. So as we transition across to the blueprint right now, we can see a little bit more. So the big antenna on the back is the collecting data. We can see an observatory platform. We can see where the drones are going to be placed, as well as in the docked position. We can see the rear of the Opod, as well as the front. And then we can see over here where they explain that there are 2 flight decks, one being up at the upper section and then one being at the lower. So if we go from this and we can go into another docked image, we can see how lovely or how amazingly beautiful it looks when the wings come down for this docked position, as well as the drones. And from here we can go and see another more detailed flight image over here. So the drones seem to be missing currently, and what we can see is a little bit more detail on the scanning sensors, as well as these 4 hard points, or weapon hard points it seems like. But take note right now that there's 4 currently in this image. That's something very interesting to take note of as we go and see exactly what the crew and modules have in store for us. So the crew over here, we have 1 captain, 1 co-pilot, pilot, engineer and crew foreman. Then over here in the module section, the Opod is one of the medium to large class ships that has one of the most modules on it out of all of them currently. We can see 1 medium data rack, 1 medium drone port, smuggling cargo is small, and then small scanner. We can as well see the size being the length is 44, width 22.6, height 20.8, and then as we go down into the components, we can see most of these is already medium. So we have a power supply, warp drive, radar, tractor beam, shield generator, impulse engine, thrusters, and then weapon hardpoints. So now, as we saw in the image beforehand, there were 4, and now there's only 3 weapon hardpoints over here. So that's something very interesting to take note of. As well as here we can see 1 medium missile bay, which is very hard to basically find and distinguish on any of the ships, to be honest. So then 1 counter missile bay, and then 1 full hull reinforcement, sorry. Then over here we can see a little bit more of the Opod in space from the rear. We can see how the engines are engaged and just the sheer beauty of what the Opod is doing in space, while having the antenna collecting data and the scanner sensors as well. So if we go from this and we see now the flight deck, we can see the 2 floors that they were mentioning of. One being the top floor over here, where navigation and the captain would most likely sit, as well as the lower flight deck. Something very interesting to take note of over here is we have an image of a sun, or maybe a star, where it is now basically sending off radiation to the Opod, and here we can see the hologram of the Opod basically saying that it is basically being deflected or redirected in another direction. If we go from this image now to the upper captain flight deck, we can see the star atlas basically chart, as well as a hologram of the Opod itself, which will most likely be able to assist with if there was any damage or what potential ships may be close by. But something also to take note of is where this atlas map is also seen. We see it in a lot of the art, we see it in the Hall of Memories, the data sphere, as well as another lower down into the Hall of the Memories. Over here as well, we can see a little bit more of each race, Mud, Booster, and then Oni as well, or gathered in this image. That's something to talk about at a later stage. So now if we go from here to the Opod frame, we can see a bit more of the inside, or how it's broken down. Over here we can see a little bit of a avatar standing in front of a monitor, and something really cool to think of is that this monitor may have the potential of being like a Iron Man basically film, where you'll be able to take all of the data, spread it across the screen, and pull it up in front of you in order to properly assess all of it and make sure that the efficiency that you're scanning at is 100% or even more. So that's something really cool to think of and look at as well. So over here we can see the opening of the hangar door. Over here we can see where the crew bunker probably is, as well as the overall concept art. Now this art does look as well, this concept as well looks like there isn't a lot of, there is no like storage racks currently for where the data would come in. So if we go from this one to the loading bay section, we can see over here what seems to be almost like a rescue pod or a hibernation pod maybe, as well as an elevator that'll take you towards say the captain's deck now. And then we can see in this image as well, being rotated, we can see that on the other side as well, it does look maybe like either a rescue pod or a hibernation chamber, as well as basically overall storage being consumed. So if we go down from here and we go towards each of the skins that we currently know that, or the different skins that we know that will most likely come in, we can see just like the overall beauty of each one actually, and also the difference in patterns. So we have like a lighter lime green over here, a vanilla white on the side, and then we have like a orange on the one down here at the bottom, and then we see the one that we know as of right now, the black and like silver. But there's still like so much more for us to uncover throughout this entire metaverse with each of these ships, and I hope to see you in the next one as well.